everybody, Jack Dangerous here with another video, and welcome back to Minecraft Tutorials. In the last video, we actually learned how to build the Twin Towers. That was a long time ago, it was a couple years ago, and you can see that since then, this city has grown quite a bit. I remember it used to just be a few buildings, and we haven't really revisited this series in a long time, so I figure before we get into learning how to build a lot of these buildings, I might as well tell you what a lot of these buildings are and give you a nice little tour of the city in all of its different sections. I'm very excited to show you guys this, as it's taken me a couple years to build this city. A lot has happened since we last saw it. As you can tell, there's an Avengers Tower over there in the distance, and there's so many more things to show you guys. But without further ado, let's begin with the tour. Alright, as you can see, we are right here at the entrance of the city of Whaleburn, or at least what was the original entrance when we started building this world. And as you can see, we are immediately greeted by a map of the city. I don't know how updated this is, considering the fact that I haven't updated it in over half a year. It seems to have most of the things that are on here, with the exception of Sarlaac, which is way off the bottom of the map, as we were originally planning on expanding that way, upwards, but we ended up expanding downwards instead and around that massive area right there, which I will get to later on in the video. But pretty much this entrance area is called the Industrial District. And pretty much this is where we make a lot of materials for the city. A lot of clothing is made in some of these buildings. A lot of food, any type of medicines, things of that nature are made inside of this little industrial district. There's not really much here. There's a bee shop here. You can see things are blocked off because of this one building, which used to be very explosive. As there were end crystals in there, which is why, since we didn't know what the end crystals would do to everything else, we just kind of covered things in obsidian. And I should probably just quickly, before we continue the tour, give you guys a brief little history on the city. And it's the fact that I didn't build this city alone. I actually built this with a couple PS4 friends back in the day, one of them being Juju24 YouTube from the old Minecraft series, who helped me a lot building this city. And now we are already at our first monument, which is none other than the Statue of Steverty. Now, this right here is obviously to pay homage to the real-life Statue of Liberty, as I just thought it would be kind of funny to put a giant Steve in the middle of the city in sort of a Statue of Liberty type pose, and lovingly referred to it as the Statue of Steverty. I believe there is actually an interior of this statue right here. If we just go up in here, it's not really anything special. There's not really any way to get up here. But if I ever did create a way, there is a nice little observatory, I believe, in the sword, kind of like how in Statue of Liberty you used to be able to go up in the torch at one point. And yeah, you can see a pretty decent view of the area. If you look over there, you can actually see more of the city, which I can't wait to show you guys because there is a lot of stuff down there too. And then if we just make our way down here, that's the Statue of Steverty. Continuing on, we are right near the first of our many Easter eggs, which there are actually two right next to each other. And you may be wondering what this thing is. I'll show you that after I show you this first Easter egg, which, if I'm correct, is one of the first that we've done in here. It was built May 4th, 2021, during the height of the pandemic, and it's a crashed X-Wing. It was for May 4th. It was to celebrate Star Wars Day. I decided to build it, and in here you can see within this little crevice is a cave, and if you go down the cave, you'll see our good old pal, Luke Skywalker. How you doing there, buddy? Not too well, I assume, from the fact that you're kind of crash landed here. But there's also a whole bunch of hidden lore that we have in the city as well. And there's also a whole bunch of stuff that I can't show because YouTube, that I would be happy to show in some sort of unlisted video or on the second channel or something. But we're just gonna show what I can show in today's video, which is things like this, which this is a cool little Easter egg. You can see these armor stands holding these little things. And oh, what's that? A little pressure plate here. And would you look at that? Immediately right into the Power Rangers Command Center. You can see we have a whole bunch of suits from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all the way to Dino Fury. And you can see there's also a section here for whatever the current Power Rangers are. We have some extra suits, whole bunch of stuff in here. Zordon's head inside of that tube. You've got these little tube structures, which are... I never even could figure out what these were supposed to be in the show. Moving on from that area, let's get on to the main attractions, which first off, we're gonna show how the city of Whaleburn got its name, which is from this little park right here, Whaleburn Park. As you can see, this cement area is all in the shape of a whale. You can see parts of it have had to be repaired over the years because I've accidentally broken a few of these blocks, unfortunately. But pretty much the story of this is we tore down a mountain right over here. We were gonna put a building here, and then we realized that it was in the shape of a whale. I added this little eye right here. I believe I added the teeth right here. And then we gave it a nice little afro, fenced it off, put a chair in the middle, called it Whaleburn Park, and there's also an invisible parkour somewhere over here that I built a while ago and completely forgot to get rid of. But then we'll move on to the next big area, which is the suburbs. And this area is literally just a whole bunch of suburban houses, except for the fact that we specifically built the Griffin house from Family Guy, which I'll give you guys a nice little tour inside of here. As you can see, it's the living room. I did my best to get it as accurate to the show as possible, although the show is not exactly clear on a lot of the dimensions of specific rooms, as it's an animated show and things change from episode to episode. Hence the weird sizing of a lot of these rooms, the weird shaping of the building. It was just kind of an amalgamation of everything from the show. I can't remember if I did it based off of a tutorial or if I did it based off of a picture. I'm pretty sure there was some sort of tutorial involved. And yeah, you can see this is Stewie's room. There's a whole bunch of empty space here because I just couldn't figure out some of these rooms. It's just really difficult. Stewie's room has a little time machine in it. I don't know if you guys got a glimpse of that or not. That's pretty much all for the Griffin house. We're just going to close the door as to be respectful of the Griffin's privacy. And as you can see, there's a road over there that leads to another house, which is far off in the distance, which will probably eventually be engulfed by the rest of the suburbs. Right next to the suburbs, however, we have FK Cinema, which the reason why it's called FK Cinema is because me and Julian built this city and we built the cinema together, and we decided to use our last name initials on the building itself. If you come in here, this was actually the city world's first ever cinema. There's not really anything special in it. There's 3 theaters in total, I'm pretty sure. If you walk in here, you can see this is pretty much what the 2 smaller theaters looked like. And then going all the way down here, I believe, you can see the big theater, which eventually we used this to model up another movie theater, which I will eventually show later on in the video. But this was the first one that we ever built. And now it is time to transition into downtown Whaleburn. We'll start from this corner, work our way over, and then we'll work through Little Buffalo. I'll show you guys the prison and the military base. And then I'll show you guys Sarlaac, and that'll be the end of the tour. So, right over here, we have Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I built the outside of this, and I built the layout inside. It was actually my friend Faxty who built the interior design, made it look exactly like the game and everything. As you can see, we got the animatronics up on stage. Foxy and his little Pirate's Cove. Back here, we have the backstage area. If we come over here, we have the bathrooms. Back here, there's actually a secret room where we have Springtrap. And I'll just close that up, board back up the safe room. The bathrooms are actually modeled. My friend Faxty actually did a really good job on the interior of this. Looks good. Back here we have the kitchen, which is actually designed. A big difference from the games. Coming over here, we have, I believe this is the supply closet. Right over here. I believe I built this off of a tutorial too. I believe I put the prize corner here, which we got right there. This is an employees only room. I believe there's one on the other side that leads to the prize counter. We have Mike Schmidt over here doing his security job. We have a whole bunch of rules here, a book with the lore. Then if we walk over here, we have Faxty's office, as it is his building, and he decided to put in his own little office. And then we have a nice secret back area over here, and there's also a few more secrets in here, which the door seems to already be open. And then there's a hidden button. I love these little mysteries, which is why there's so many of them in this world. I wish I could show them all in one video, but as you can see, it goes right into the FNAF 2 location, which is also modeled directly after the game and also was made through another tutorial. There's no animatronics in here, it's just abandoned. The lights are supposed to be flashing in here, although I guess that somehow the game messes it up a bit. This command block is supposed to be to a FNAF 3 section that I never ended up building. And if we click this, it'll just take us right back to where we came from. If this world ever does become public, which it probably won't, you can see that there's coordinates to where everything is. I'll also put the seed of this world in the description down below if you guys want to try building a city world yourself. We are checking out the inside of Chick-fil-A currently. But if you want to use this specific seed for your own world, you can as well. I'll drop the seed in the description down below. I don't know if the seed has changed or not. I don't know how different it's going to be given the fact that there's been so many updates. This world was made back in 2019, I think, so it's a pretty old world. Here is just another kind of Freddy Fazbear's-esque pizzeria. There's not really anything special in here. There's just like a generic stage room. I tried doing my own little version here. This was based off of like a design for a short film that I was going to do. But the design has massively changed since then, so this is no longer canonical to that. It's just another pizzeria that rivals Freddy's. There's a ball pit area over here. You can see it's very dimly lit. I believe there's another security area, and then a few party rooms. Not really anything too spectacular, but it's just an idea I had that I decided to build, and this was the result. Unfinished, as a lot of these projects are. You can see there's a whole bunch of unfinished projects. I'm well aware of that. In here, there's actually a Walmart, which it's really small, but it does its job. There's a whole bunch of shelving in here. I actually don't know what this is. I'm pretty sure someone else built this. I have no idea why this is here. I don't remember building that. But anyways, oh, you can see there's actually a few other systems too. Oh, I think I remember what happened. I gave someone else ownership of the Walmart, and that's some of the edits they made. All right, well, moving on to the rest of the city. As you guys can tell, this is a very long tour, as there's just so much to go through. Here we have the Whaleburn Museum, and this is not finished yet. However, I'll show you some of what we have so far. As you could probably tell by the Avengers Tower in the background of the intro, the MCU is sort of canonized in this world. We have the Avengers here, we have more Avengers costumes here, more Avengers costumes here. I believe these are all from like the Battle of New York, which we have our own version, which is the Battle of Whaleburn as well. There's a whole plot line to it that is completely unfinished. We have the T-Rex exhibit here. Over here, we have an arcade and then a happy club right here called Apple Bottom. We're just gonna leave that there. Not really something that I can tour, unfortunately. I can tour through the arcade in the arcade, though, which is right here. It's not really anything special, but up here we have where you can have some gaming tournaments and stuff. Down here's your general gaming area. We have our arcade cabinets. Upstairs, we have the bigger ones. We have a lounge area over here. And then I believe downstairs, we have an adult lounge area over here. And the section with the competitive area was actually the adult arcade, which is lovingly referred to as the arcade as a little bit of a play on words for, you know, rated R movies and stuff. And then now we get to some of the other building monuments. We have the giant milk fountain right behind the Whaleburn Casino. And then over here, this doesn't look like anything special, but this is actually Building 1, aka the first building that I ever built in this city world. As you can see, it's really small, drowned out by all of the other buildings, nothing really special, but it has a huge place in my heart, even though it's a small building. As it's the first one that I built. It's the only building that was here, other than the villager houses for a little while, before we built the next building, which was the first milk fountain. As you can see, there's two milk fountains. There's the tiny milk fountain, and then there's the large milk fountain. Over here, we also have a few more buildings. Over here's the Whaleburn Bank. You can see a whole bunch of larger buildings. We have the Sanctum Sanctorum, which I can actually give a nice little tour of, because there is an inside here. Not much on the inside, but you can see this is the entrance area. We have more stairs leading up into the library over here. And then, of course, we have to have this area where Doctor Strange can stand right at the window and look out amongst the city. Gets him a nice little view, so then he can watch over the city, make sure no supernatural things are happening that he has to take care of. And continuing on, we also have this smaller building right here, and we have a GameStop. We have a couple little stores over here, and this is the mayor's house right over here. I'll give you a small little tour of this. And if we click the button, you can see the inside. We have my dogs, Mia and Max. Walk over here, you can see the kitchen. Skipper. Downstairs, there's a pool room right over here. Over here, there's a secret little basement. More rooms, guest rooms, bathrooms, things of that nature. All of these rooms are pretty much the same. If we come down here, we have the massive safe. And then we have another little Avengers Easter egg right on in here. As you can see, I am a massive Marvel fan, so there's tons of these. And right here, I believe we have... As you can see, there's a universe and multiverse designation as well. So moving on out of here, I can show you guys a little bit of the upstairs as well. You get a nice little view of the pool room. Upstairs, we have a parent party room, which I completely forgot that I made. And the music has probably been blaring for you guys this whole time, which is absolutely hilarious. You can see all of my little bird friends just partying it out in here, except for Blue over here, which he's looking a little bit blue. Unfortunately, not partying with his friends. What's wrong, Blue? Don't like the song? I love this song. In here, we have my bedroom, which it's got a lot of curtains on it. I've actually moved locations since here. I actually moved to one of the houses in the suburbs because I didn't really want to live a luxurious lifestyle in my own city world. I felt it was just kind of self-centered to do it that way. We have a master bathroom in here. There's a nice little hot tub. And then we have a nice little terrace, which you can see the hospital building from. And then we are right back to the Twin Towers, which is right where we started. And as you can see, there's a nice little Spider-Man Easter egg here as well. We have two little containers right here, each with have a potion of their own. Special superpower stuff. Over there, I forgot to mention, is the Whaleburn building, which was the first building to officially be called the tallest building in Whaleburn before the Twin Towers were built. Over here, we have the Baxter building as well. There's not really much inside of here. We have our Times Square-esque district, which has a lot of billboards in it. And then over here, we have the PS5 and Xbox Series X building. Next to it, we have the Icicle building, as well as the Freedom Tower, which, yes, guys, I've heard all of your requests. And that is the next build in the next video. Bear with me for this video. And then over here, we have the current tallest building in the Avengers Tower, which is right next to a police building. And it's also right next to the Freedom Tower and one of the Whaleburn schools. So if we step in here, this is our little lobby. This is just going to be a general kind of tour. There will be a more in-depth tour when I actually do the tutorial for the Avengers Tower, as I do plan on it. This is a nice little dining room in here. You can see a kitchen. We go up one floor. You can see there's a whole bunch of empty floors that I haven't yet done the interior of, which I probably will do at some point during a video. Up here, we actually have an in-house aquarium for the Avengers Tower. And if we go up one more floor, we have a bar, which you can see people swimming around in the pool and everything. It's a nice little observation area. You can see people having fun. And then you can look at what you might want to do later on afterwards. And I skipped over a floor, but this is the actual pool room itself. There's a nice little diving board, and it's nice and open for people to relax. And moving up onto the next room, it's actually pretty empty until we reach Quicksilver's room right over here. This is Quicksilver's apartment. Going up one, we have Wolverine's apartment. Going up one more, we have Scarlet Witch and Vision's apartment, which is actually modeled off of the WandaVision show. Up one more, we have Nick Fury's apartment, a lot more reserved. Up one more floor, we have Hawkeye's apartment, which is a lot more simplistic. We have Black Widow's apartment. And then we have Hulk's apartment, which is massive, which suits him. And then we have Thor's apartment as well. Going up, we also have some other apartments. We have Captain America's 1940s style apartment, Stark's apartment building. We have a library, another area, Jarvis, a containment area. If we go up one more, I believe there's another containment area. We have Iron Man suits in there. We have a bunch of meeting rooms. And then over here, we have the shield section, which transforms into the helipad. And then moving onwards, we also have the Daily Bugle, which is right across from the Whaleburn Mall, which is right over here. As well as two of the Whaleburn schools. And a giraffe monument that one of my VR chat friends recently built. It was actually Rob who built that giraffe specifically, as the giraffe is his main avatar in VR chat. Over here, we actually have an unfinished hotel. There was actually another unfinished hotel all the way over there that I didn't bother showing. And then over here, we have the International Airport. Moving on, we should probably get to the next district, which is going to be Little Buffalo. And to kick off this section, I'm kind of going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to start on this side and work that way, as there's not really much here, and it's going to be a really quick tour. As you can see over here, this is where there's a lot of affordable housing. It's named Little Buffalo because of the fact that it was modeled after Buffalo, New York, and it was built by Juju24. This entire area was built by Juju24 and based off of Buffalo. As you can see, there's the plus sign buildings. They're reminiscent of something this type of area would have. And speaking of area, we have Area 69, which is the equivalent of Area 51 for this world. Come inside of here. You can see that this is kind of a military base, kind of a testing zone. This was kind of an area where at one point it crashed people when they came in here because I added a whole bunch of sponges in the water. And because I couldn't figure out how to fix the problem, I just blocked it off. Eventually I fixed the problem, added a roof, and added a nice little secret entrance right here. Moving on, we have the Whaleburn Prison, which, as you can see, has a whole bunch of trees in it, and the reason for that is because the prisoners have to have something to do to keep them out of trouble, and I figure what better than taking down some trees in here. And then they'll plant some trees, take those ones down as well, and then that's where we get the wood for a lot of the buildings. so then we don't have to cut down as many forests, and so everything can be a lot more environmentally friendly. And as we move on, we are going to transition into the village of Sarlaac, which, as you can see, is extremely tiny, but that's because it just hasn't really been expanded upon much yet. And the reason why this area is called Sarlaac is actually because of this right here, the Sarlaac pit, which, as you can see, is actually based off of the 1983 version of the Sarlaac pit and doesn't have the giant beak in the middle. It's just a pit with spikes, which, you know, is how it originally was. Over here we have a nice little sword and stone, and then up here we have our first Mortal Kombat reference in the spike pit. Right up here we have Bug-Eyed Cho and Kano, along with a sign that says Round 1 Fight, and hang on, it looks like someone's stuck in the spike pit over here. Okay, I guess that's supposed to be a reference to Liu Kang. There was a lot of friends that I had that worked on this city world, as I mentioned before, and added in these types of NPCs. And as you can see, if they don't fall into the spike pit, they'll fall into the lava down below, and whoever survives is obviously the winner. And moving on, we also have another Mortal Kombat reference right across from the Sarlaac school. And I believe this is supposed to be Shao Kahn's arena from the first game. It's modeled after it, but it's a lot smaller and a lot less detailed. It's supposed to just be a little bit of a reference. And then right across from it, we have the Slave One Boba Fett ship, which is just kind of hovering here. And if we go inside, we can see that there's an interior to this as well. There's not really much that's special in there, it's just a very detailed design. A lot of these were off of tutorials for the ship designs and stuff like that. I'm gonna give credit where it's due. That is not my original design, I built that off of a tutorial. This is actually right here, the Upgrade Premium Cinema. As you can see, there's a lot of posters here for different movies. Walking through here, there's a bunch of lounge areas. The queue to get your tickets, which walks right up to the kiosk with the cashiers. Check with the ushers for your tickets. Come right on in here, there's a bar, concessions. Walk down the red carpet, and there's a couple theaters in here, which I'll just show you the inside of one of them so you get a good idea. There's also an upstairs area as well, but I figure it's kind of redundant to show off more than just one of these theaters, because they're pretty much just all the same. And then walking right back out here, because upstairs is pretty much the same as downstairs. Get another look at the lounge area. And then right as we leave, one last look at the outside of the building as we walk into yet another unfinished project, the Whaleburn Mall. And I'm pretty sure that this actually concludes this video. As you can see, there's quite a lot to unpack here. There's also quite a few things that I unfortunately wasn't able to show off. And there's a lot of things that I would like to show off in future videos as well. And if there's any builds that you guys saw today that you would like to learn how to build in your own city world, just drop a comment down below and let me know what that thing is. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like or dislike, comment, and subscribe. As you can see, the sun has started rising again, and we can once again see the city in its full glory. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. This is Jack Dangerous, signing off.